Alright guys, before we begin today's podcast, you know the deal, what we've been doing for like these last few episodes, because we're gearing up for our season finale. We're doing a promotional song as of right now, so...
You know that I can't feel it flowing through my bones, and now we're all on the verge of connection. You and I.
If you guys enjoyed that promotional song, it's in the description below. But enough about that stuff. Now let's go to the intro.
Growing up and growing old, don't you feel the time moving forward every morning when we rise? If only we could make it right before the sun says goodnight.
Hello everybody, welcome back to What Grinds Gears, the podcast owned by, ran by, and done stuff by with family. Non-stop family. And if you guys keep asking me, just like, but V, none of you guys are the same race. It's like, does family have to be the same race? I mean, certain things of, you know, spiritual bonds of your soul, knowing what your real family is a fucking thing. Like,
well,
I know...
Hold on. I know this is cliche and overplayed, but I have to ask the question. What exactly is another race?
That is a good question.
Because... as far as I knew, humans were one race.
They were. And then the sun happened.
So, can you explain the difference, besides ethnicity, between me and a, per se, Chinese person?
Nope.
Okay.
Other than language.
Okay. I never got that. I never got the whole race thing.
No one really does. It's just like, we hate you because you look different. It's like, but why? We're the same thing. It's like, I don't know.
But don't we already have words for that? Isn't that like prejudice and discrimination?
Prejudice, discrimination, racism, and other types of phobias for the other.
But that's where we get into the whole racism thing again. Like, what the fuck is... Okay, I know the definition of racism.
We all know the definition. We're not saying that to sound ignorant. We're just like, why...
So wait. Let me get this straight. A racist is literally someone who hates humans.
That's xenophobic.
How is it Again.
Hatred of humanity and or unknown.
Yeah, but we are the human race.
Correct.
So if somebody hates humans and hates pandas, and I'm sorry, hold on. If somebody is human and they hate pandas, that would be racism.
Correct.
If somebody hates another human being because they are a different color or look different, that would be prejudice, not racism.
Yes.
So somebody who hates an entire category of people, an entire, let's say, population of Jewish people or Japanese people or black people, that's still not racism. Technically.
In a philosophical standpoint, you are correct, but by Webster as well as the National Global Dictionary, it is still deemed either racism and or just societal prejudice.
Which means they hate humans.
But that's also, by scientists, xenophobia.
Which does not make sense to me. What grinds our gears, people?
Oh, we keep this show relevant. But you guys may notice, unlike last week where we had like 5 people, we're just with me and Hubs today. It's not that we just kicked everyone out. No. Everyone is just either super tired, super crazy busy, or just in certain people's cases life is a little bit weird. Like personally, my life is in the shithole, and personally Hubs is unfortunately ill, but we gotta keep the show rolling.
I am sick, and we're for the first time ever probably going to have a deadline as far as time constraint for the show, but we still won't tell you when that is.
That is always
I don't know. So excuse my coughs and my nose blowing. It's because I have a chest cold. It developed overnight, almost literally. I say almost literally because I Thursday night I felt it, but I didn't realize that that's what it was because I had no congestion. I just had this tickle in my chest.
I think it's from the shift in nature.
Well, it could be that, or the fact that I'm working at a chicken farm right now.
True.
And I woke up Friday, and Jenny doesn't want to hear it. She almost gagged earlier. The snot ball that I coughed up on Friday morning was the size of a ping pong ball.
I've had that before.
Yes. You probably heard her.
But before we gross you guys out to just be like, we're just going to not watch this week's podcast. Don't worry. We have at least 2 things that are the same category, which is 1, I believe Hubs would want to talk about the remake of Final Fantasy VII getting its full gameplay footage out right now.
The name of our podcast, V. The name of our podcast.
What grinds our gears?
Oh, yes.
And I personally want to talk about what they're doing for Persona 5 The Royal, about the recent thing that they just released. So before that, though, let's talk about the most popular one, which is, sadly, of course, Final Fantasy VII. Now, I'm going to say sadly because you guys have seen older podcasts, like when we're going over the history of it. I am not the biggest fan of 7, not because it's a bad story, mind you. No. It's one, they skip over who the real villain of the whole entire game is, which is Genova. And Sephiroth has been dead ever since Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII, which is the better version because Zack Fair is the real hero of goddamn Shinra!
And I still disagree with you there. Cloud Strife is clearly the hero because he's the last man standing. But we'll get into that later.
No, he's the hero of Midgar. Zack is the hero of Shinra.
Oh, wait. Cloud is Thor?
Yes.
Then he's the fucking hero and Zack means nothing.
Ow.
Boom! Anyways.
Ow. Why would you do this? I thought we were family.
Anyway, I think that's the best argument I've raised for Cloud in the whole fucking argument. Really, Cloud is Thor.
But he wouldn't be Thor without Zack. Anyways. Why don't you go over what grinds your gears about this whole remake stuff that's just launched recently?
Okay, so Jenny actually sent me the tweet in which Square Enix, sorry, it's just Square now.
Because Enix is just sounding stupid.
Well, no, I am from the era when Squaresoft existed.
Oh, you and me both!
And Enix Softworks existed. And then they merged to become Squaresoft. And now it's just Square. So, okay, we're not going to get into that. That's a whole nother fucking podcast. Anyways. So Square released a tweet, and Jenny sent me the tweet. She was all excited and happy about it because, you know, as many people know, well, some people know, our friend Victoria. Shout out to Victoria. I have to say it like this, though. Shout out to Victoria. She said, bought us the pre-order for Final Fantasy VII 2 years ago. 2 years ago. So, when they delayed it, for reasons we've already discussed, the guy running Kingdom Hearts 3 is the guy that was in charge of Final Fantasy VII. After the guy that was originally in charge of Final Fantasy VII Remake quit and left, they threw it on the Kingdom Hearts 3 guy, and he didn't have time because he was focused on Kingdom Hearts 3, blah, 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 blah. We're not going to go through it.
If you guys want to watch that, we have a huge playlist that appears in every single podcast. Keep going.
Yeah. So, she showed me the tweet. She was all excited. I watched the trailer because I got excited because I read the tweet. And it's like, we're so sorry, guys. We know we've been lacking on this. And we promise there's more to come. 2019 is the year Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming in 2019. Basically. Right? I didn't read that verbatim. That's kind of basically what it said. So I'm going to say this for number one. It ain't happening.
Nope.
Number two, the trailer they released, and this was my biggest, like, grinding gears part, is the exact same trailer they released at E3 fucking 2 years ago. They didn't change a goddamn thing. Now, I know there was a lot of fanboys and fangirls out there kind of like, oh my god, it's finally happening. And I saw the tweet and I saw the fucking trailer and I was like, no, it's not. No, it's not. This is just them raising fucking awareness to that. Oh, now that the Kingdom Hearts 3 has been released, we have time to work on this. It's going to come out. And they promised that it's coming to PS4, not PS5.
Oh, I know. They also promised the DLC for Kingdom Hearts 3 at the same exact moment they were doing this whole announcement tour.
Which they is it who's the fucking head of Sony? Is it Todd Cook or Tim Cook? No, that's fucking Apple. Who's the dude?
I can't remember. Like, they change owners so much for...
Anyways, he was having an interview, and he basically promised that the PS5 is not going to be released in 2019 or 2020, guaranteeing some of these titles, like Last of Us 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake, these big titles that we've been waiting for to come out on the PS4. Now I'm seeing shit that the PS5 is coming out in the 2020s.
2021, 2022.
Not my brain is boiling.
What grinded my gears about the whole thing was, one, I'm not the biggest fan of Final Fantasy VII. I've said this for years. It's not my least favorite. My least favorite that I hate with a burning passion will always be 9. I will never strive from that fact.
Really?
Yes.
Jenny really likes 9.
I'm sorry, Jenny.
She likes what, Squall. That's 9.
8.
That's 8. She likes Vaughn too, though.
Vaughn is in 12.
Which one's 9? Who's 9?
9 has the monkey boy trying to save Princess Garnet from...
See, this is why it's your least favorite. I couldn't even name the character.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
It's a terrible fucking game to me. But 7, I can't really say it's worth the hype for me. Like, yes, it was one of the first 3D based games for the entire evolution for Square. Yes, it implemented a lot of stuff to make the evolution to where we have the characters that we have now, where they're more than just these hulking, bulking knights. They actually have character, they actually have personality, which may or may not make people that love the original stuff kind of cringe, because it's like, we had character thanks to Final Fantasy VI, but it's like, that's when they were trying to do the transitional period after 5 was so meh, and where 4 was just, we had good character, but the story was just kind of like, we have this, let's time jump for this character to then have more development. Where 7 was like, we can have steady, congruent development over the journey. I can agree with that, and I love the spin-offs, where I've stated before, where Crisis Core is my favorite of Final Fantasy VII's whole compilation. My gripes, though, what grinds my gears is, firstly, they were only implementing the newer changes to 7's whole redesign and reboot stuff by using the exact same team from what people have dubbed as one of the haphazardly mediocre and somberly wasted entries of Final Fantasy 15 to make the new combat, to make the new models, to make the new movie cinematics, just to be like, hey, you guys hated 15? Well, we used what you loved about it into the one that you truly love. It's like, Square, do you not love your own children?
Well, I think it's more along the lines of a trial and error basis. But because, like, me and Jenny love 15.
Oh, I love 15 myself, but they're just like, here, you guys get to have everything you loved about 15, even though you hated it, in the one that you really wanted.
Well, isn't that what they're supposed to do, though?
They are, but they're just making it seem like 15 was a mistake to be made, and it wasn't.
I don't think so. They wouldn't have released so much downloadable content if that was the case. And a lot of it was free, which is another thing. I like. Okay, this is something I actually like. I'm not grinding my gear. A lot of that downloadable content that they released after the fact, without the season pass, was free.
I mean, the episodes were awesome. Like, my personal favorite is episode Ignis.
Yeah.
Episode Arden was just sad.
Yeah. But I mean, so I think as many gripes as we have with Square, especially in the past, let's say 10 years.
Yeah. Hey, Kylie.
Wave.
Hello.
I really think Square went through a transitional period where they're like, let's make money. We got Final Fantasy VII. Oh, shit. We got Final Fantasy X. Holy fuck. That made us a shit ton of money, too. And they went money, 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 money. And then they got to the point where they're like, shit, we're not making money anymore because the content isn't worth what the fans wanted. So they came out with that. What the fuck was the Final Fantasy with the new... It was the first time they used the new fighting mechanics.
Was it 13?
No. It came out after 13, actually.
Type 0?
Yes, that one. They were like, okay, we have to dumb down 13 because it can't fit on the Xbox because they don't have Blu-ray.
It's too huge.
So we have to dumb it down. So we're not just gonna dumb it down for one. We're gonna dumb it down for all instead of releasing the actual cut for PlayStation. Advantage PlayStation. We're gonna dumb it down for Xbox and PlayStation because it would have been like 7 discs on Xbox if I remember reading the article correctly.
That wouldn't have been bad, but...
Which would have taken us back to the whole PlayStation, the original PlayStation playing Wing Commander where you had 5 discs, or Final Fantasy VII where you had 4 discs.
Legends of Dragoon.
Right, exactly. So, like, real gamers wouldn't have cared.
Oh,
but
God,
the companies themselves were like, we can't have this. This is a PR disaster because PlayStation's using 1 disc and Xbox would have to have 7. So instead of, like, just keeping it complete, they dumbed it down, which is why Final Fantasy 13 is so linear, but the story is golden, right? The story is there. They have the storyline.
It's
But
just...
the gameplay is one fucking dimensional.
It's like, okay, you have an airship. Can I explore the world? No! You can use these gates before you go to the final boss.
Exactly.
But do I get to explore a lot more? No!
Yeah, sure. Yes, you can explore in this one area with this open field with the same monsters, just like Final Fantasy VII. Isn't it nostalgic? No. Not when I have Grand Theft Auto. The fuck? The fuck Squaresoft? I mean, Enix. I mean, Square. What the fuck?
Well, you see, we thought that you guys would love it because, it's like going into a new era of gaming for the new generation. Yes, that's great. Why are we stuck here? Well, you see... what were we supposed to fucking say again?
So I think they went through that period, and somewhere between Final Fantasy 13 and Type 0 being released with the new fighting mechanics and whatnot, somebody got fired, for sure, for one. Because they released Final Fantasy 13, which had beautiful graphics, beautiful visuals, beautiful storyline, shit gameplay.
Yeah.
Then they released Type 0, which had PlayStation 2 graphics, PlayStation 2 visuals, and next-gen fighting.
With the rating of M.
Exactly.
And then
somebody got fired. And they
then
went back.
15 happened where... I wish I could...
They combined all those elements. They combined Type 0 with Final Fantasy 13, and they got 15, which I love.
I truly did but if you guys want to hear my full thoughts on all the stuff I have about 15, you guys can just go back to the previous podcast that Britt and I did about where fandoms went wrong, because I not only blame the company, but I also blame the fans, because another thing that grinds my gears, like, for everything... Fandoms, even if they're like really solid ones, like I'm not gonna sugarcoat it where I don't personally know or have been in fandoms like this, but Square's fan base with Final Fantasy is probably one of the most volatile because it's the most impatient ones I have ever met, and it technically ruins its own story or its own properties because of the fandom. Like 15, I've heard people be like, Noctis was able to have the ability to talk to the dead, but apparently it was cut because it wanted to get released. It's like, yeah, because idiots like you were harping and hammering and demanding stuff, not understanding the background to making video games and to the whole PR stuff to make this stuff happen. And with 7, do you know how many years Square is getting hounded about this, aside from just trying to focus on newer stories that could have made them a lot more money than the manpower that they're wasting on this remake?
So, I'm gonna... Yes, you're absolutely correct. But I think it didn't really gain traction until Sony decided to start releasing their HD lines. I think that is what killed it for Square, and I think that is what bogged it down. And as soon as Square came out with that original trailer, it wasn't 2 years ago, it was like 4 years ago.
Yeah, it was like during E3 20... Well, the original was like in 2013, 2014.
Oh, Jesus, that's even farther ago. As soon as Square did that, because Sony starts coming out with their HD line, which is basically PS2, PS1, and some PS3 titles remastered for the PS4, which some of them were awesome, and then some of them were like, why the fuck did you do that? But anyways, as soon as Sony started doing that, Square's like, this is a great chance to do what everybody wants, because they always wanted a Final Fantasy VII sequel. And as everybody who's a Square fan knows, Square does not do Final Fantasy sequels per se. They do them in an aspect, but they're usually a shoot-off or a what is that called?
Spin-off?
Spin-off, that's it. So like for Final Fantasy X, you didn't ever get a Final Fantasy X-2 till later.
Yeah, with let's have Charlie's Angels with strip mechanics.
Exactly. So it wasn't like the exact sequel you wanted, but it was a sequel, sort of.
With them dangling 10-3 in your face after the audio drama. Just like, hey, you know Sin's back, right? You want this? You want this? Stuffs it down its pants next to its crotch. There you go.
Here's Final Fantasy 13. So that's what Square does. This is like the one game that not you, but a majority of the fan base has wanted an actual sequel, Final Fantasy VII 2. You know, with Cloud, with Sephiroth, or without. I mean, Cloud supposedly kills him. Or not, because he kind of walks away in the fire. It doesn't matter. I can't say spoilers at this point, V. This is 1997.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, Crisis Core, like, he stabs him dead in the chest after Zack, like, really, really wounded him in their one-on-one fight, and he is dead. It's just Genova using the body.
Anyways, so we have this thing that Square does where they release a sequel, but it's not really a sequel.
The movie.
Yeah. Like Final Fantasy 13 had how many?
2.
3? 2 sequels?
It was 13-2, then Lightning Returns.
And from what I understand, because Jenny never actually played through them, I think we own them all, but I don't think she actually played through them. Like, it's a completely different story each time.
13-2 has time travel, and Lightning Returns is just Majora's Mask ripoff.
Yeah, so, like, they don't do very well with sequels, and we understand why. So, instead of going that route, they're just going to do the remake, which is probably the best route that they could go, given what people were asking for the HD remake, you know?
Mm.
Then Square goes off and decides to say, well, no, we're not just going to make it HD. We're going to make an entirely new game with the same story, updated graphics, and fighting. And why didn't you just make an HD remix? That's what everybody was asking for. Now it's turned into, no, this is an entirely fucking, this thing has gained a mind of its own, and now fans are pissed.
Yeah,
because
it's too hard to just make 3D models that are more crisp and clean for 7, where you just gotta still have the text box, just updated movies, updated models. You didn't have to go this extra fucking length.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, Square did that to themselves. Like, if they would have just offered an updated, you know, smoother graphics version with the text box and all of that,
yes,
it would have been fine. Fans would have been satiated. But no, they've released a full-on fucking, I believe it was released on the PS3 because you're right. It was like 2013 because they played the original fucking
Opening, yes.
The opening for Final Fantasy on the PS3 to show the power of the PS3's engine.
Yes.
And it was beautiful.
Yes.
And fans were like, oh my god, when am I getting this to play? And Square's like, money. I see money. Let's do this. I'll put this guy in charge. And then that guy was not the right guy to put in charge at all whatsoever.
No.
Enough of Final Fantasy. You've heard that's what grinds my gears with the Final Fantasy releasing the new trailer. I'm pissed off because it's the same trailer I saw 2 years ago, and the tweet means nothing to me because I had the pre-order shit, and it had to be returned. Victoria bought that for me and Jenny as a gift, which we have thanked her countless times, and I will continue to thank her. Victoria, you better listen to this podcast. Better listen. I'm going to come visit you one night. Mothman prophecies. Anyways. And me and Jenny were chomping at the bit because Victoria wanted to see this so badly. And we wanted to play it so badly for her, as well as Mal and all the rest. And then January 2017 came. The day the pre-order was supposed to be fulfilled. And they bumped it back a year.
Yep.
So we're like, okay. Disappointing, anger, a little bit of rage. January 2018 hits, pushed it back.
Yes.
A year. No, they didn't even push it back a year. They pushed it back indefinitely.
Yep.
Indefinitely. Oh, the rage. Oh, Wilbur. The rage. So, seeing this tweet and seeing this trailer release that I saw 2 years ago means nothing to me. And that is what grinds my gears. How about that? And that's about all I have to say about that.
Well, going from the popular one to the underground one for you guys, I mean, sure, everyone's chomping the bits for Joker.
No. Wait. I have to stop you, V.
Yes.
I have to stop you. Have you seen Endgame yet?
Yes, I have. I've seen it 3 times.
Fuck you, squared. Gah!
Listen, Aaron, listen. I didn't even want to see it. I just got one advance ticket by accident, and then I had friends that had bootleg copies that wanted to watch it.
I just had Okay, so Marvel has a time limit as to when spoilers can start being given up.
Yes.
So I believe the time frame is 2 weeks after the movie's release.
2.5 weeks if you want to be generous.
Okay. And that's for Marvel employees. That includes like the cast and members of Avengers.
Yep.
That's not like a general rule. That's an actual Disney Marvel rule. So I got through the first week okay.
Should be drinking more water, lady, please. We got something to feed. You will always be something, I will be me.